Oh, just a few more ideas. I know I can get it in this closet. Just a few more. I'm not ready to podcast just yet. Oh, I guess not. I'm not sure. Oh, well, guess I'd better just do it. Well, hello, and welcome to the 93rd Dear Lanadee Podcast. I'm sitting outside, the birds are noisy, Peaches is at my feet for the moment, and I'm enjoying it, every bit of it. So how are you? My mind has been so filled with ideas and things I wanted to share with you, I wasn't sure I could wait any longer, so here I am. Let's start with Peaches. She's 11 weeks old now and is really smart. She's taught me to throw a ball so she can fetch it. I answer the bell hung on the door that was originally set up to tell me when she had to go out. But she also uses it when she wants me to return to the room. Peaches knows when I need to sit down. She carries her baby to the edge of the kitchen and whines till I sit with her on my lap. And now we walk with a leash. So you see, she's doing very well. She wants what she wants, though, when she wants it. She wants the liberty to go into our living room. But our carpet is over 12 years old. And it's been peed on, I'm sorry, by a number of different dogs over the years, despite the fact that I've had it professionally cleaned numerous times. We've treated it, we've done everything we should do. I have no idea other than it's green and looks like grass, or is it the odor in the pad? She isn't on the floor more than a couple of seconds when I can tell what's on her mind. So, you see, we have to keep her in the kitchen. And I have a long kitchen, so we've barricaded it. My husband Michael bought some lattice, and the holes are too big for her. She can walk right through, so we had to buy 4 lattices, 2 to put at one end of the kitchen, 2 at the other. And then he took some more lattice and made a little toddler play area for her. That works out great for me, but she is a toddler with attitude. If I put her in that play yard, she yells out, "This is puppy prison." She will then run around growling while she beats up Mr. Potato Head. And it's the only time she ever touches that toy. She loves Wesley and gets so excited she'll actually go from me to him. And he plays with his cars and rolls around balls. She likes other people, but not as much as the children. Now, when it comes to Michael, let's think about that. She's not crazy about Michael holding her. That I don't understand. He's always been the Pied Piper with every child, every animal that's ever come in our house. In fact, Julie's dog, Hercules, loves Michael and would rather be with him than anyone, except for his mom, of course. My sister-in-law, Linda, suggested that I give him more opportunities with her. Well, he can have as many as he'd like because I'm busy, and she wants to either be under my feet, on top of my feet, in my hands. Well, her suggestion was to give him my house coat. And I did that, and it did help. But still, she only has just so many minutes, and then she's unhappy and she starts to nip. And we don't like that. She is tiny. She's cute. But she sends me conflicting signals. Hold me. Don't hold me. Hold me again. Don't put me down. Oh, don't put your hand near that. My favorite, if she becomes feisty, it means she needs a nap. I had no idea puppies needed so much nap. Well, I've been spending so much time with her, teaching her how to go outside, ring the bell. She does that very, very well. Has had very few accidents. I could probably count on one hand. But that, of course, is because I watch her every second when she's not in her little playground area. He expects to see her juggling next time he comes in the room. Okay, I don't go that far, but I do spend a lot of time with her. I know this dog, how she can get angry and, like I said, beat up Mr. Potato Head, how she hates that play yard. Do you hear that? That is a woodpecker. Well, she just has a lot of attitude. She wants to go out all the time. I've been giving some real serious thought to whether or not I should have a dog at all. Please don't hate me, but it's the truth. At times, I think I just want to be grandma, not mom, because then you can give them back. And I don't know if I've really, truly cut out to have a pet. Poor Peaches never gets any rest. I move too much. I'm up, I'm down. Even when I sit down in my chair to relax, I'm up 10, 12 times, and it really is wearing. Plus, I feel like I can't move in my own house. I wake up, and I have to be very, very quiet. Michael and I tiptoe to the bathroom, because if it's before 7, I don't want her up. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not that she can't hold it, because she can. It's that I'm up, she thinks she has to be up. And then she starts in. So I feel like I've lost a lot of my quiet time. It has been suggested by my husband's cousin, Cheryl, that I have Michael watch her more. Let him get up early with her. That will never happen. Michael would probably pass away from a morning-itis. He cannot get up in the morning. So that means I have her. I have her all the time. Had I thought about that? Well, let's be honest. I had not. I knew that I loved my daughter's dog, and I knew that probably would be a good idea if I, had a little puppy, we could grow old together. Well, she'd have some catching up to do. But I am not certain I thought this through because I am exhausted from taking care of her. I've been praying that someone would want this little dog. I'll sell her cheap. Don't hate me. I know she's a great dog. I know she'll change as she gets older. But she owns me. One of the reasons I thought about a dog was hoping it would help me with my codependence. I have wondered if bringing Peaches in my life would help me not to fixate so much on the grandkids. By giving me something else to fixate on? Well, I hadn't thought about it that way. But she owns me. This has not been an easy thing for me to deal with. So I am praying about it. And I know as young as she is, she would bond perfectly with another mom. So pray with me about this. If I'm to keep her, have God change my heart. Have her love Michael. I want to find her a good home, one with someone who wouldn't want to breed her, that wouldn't have too many children or other pets. She's adorable. And yes, I've had fun. I've made videos with her. And in fact, if you want to check out my YouTube link, I've taught her to wear her little vest and walk with a leash now. But it's just taking up every waking moment. So believe me, I'm not being hasty. I just don't want to find myself in another situation where my every thought and focus is taken up by someone or something, such as Peaches, where I'm paralyzed to do the things I want to do because I'm caring for everyone and everything around me. I am making progress, though, with my codependence. I realize that to work on my preoccupation with caring for others, it's not wrong to care. Ephesians 5:20 says, give thanks always for all things. So I'm doing that. I'm thanking the Lord for Peaches, and I'm trying to fall in love with her like I should. Well, that's where I'm at when it comes to Peaches. And I hope you'll give me your suggestions. Please don't hate me. Update. I finally came to my last nerve, and I found an animal rescue for tiny animals. The lady that I spoke with, her name is Betty, promised me that she would have her chipped she would find her a wonderful home and that she would have them sign a contract, which is what she normally does, that would provide that if at any time she couldn't keep her, that they would have to return her. And then again, she'd provide another good home. So I packed up all her things, and Betty came over. A couple of things were happening, though at that moment I must admit I became very, very tearful. But I got her things together, her little babies. I kept putting them in her crate so that when she was carried, she'd have them with her. She kept dragging them out, almost to say, please don't do this. But my mind was made up. And so I let her out to the bathroom one last time. She came in with a peace offering, a leaf. I just felt this was best. So we packed up all her things, and we took her to the car. Peaches was gone. It was very, very emotional. I'll admit it. We came in the house, took down all the barriers, and that was that. I told different people about what I'd done. My daughter took it the hardest. She could barely speak to me. Her children cried, along with me. But I just did not feel I could do this anymore. Another update. The very next morning, I was meeting my daughter at the car to exchange Wesley, who had spent the night, and we both began to bawl. Julie said, "Are you sure you did the right thing, Mom?" I must admit I wasn't sure if I had or hadn't. Julie said, "Do you think you could get her back?" Well, I doubt that. But I made a phone call, and Betty said, "You want Peaches back, don't you?" And I had to admit I did. And her answer, no. But then she said, "Just kidding." "Yes, just kidding. You may have her back. Peaches is home." I'm very excited, having a second chance. A bit of advice: don't do what I did. It's horrible. We're glad she's back, and good or bad, we're going to make it work. I want to talk about a reoccurring dream that I've had. And this goes well along the lines of my dealing with the codependency. I dreamt I opened a door in the attic of my childhood home, and there was another house. I know that this is my house in the dream. It's filled with many items, including dressers, and I'm so excited I open the dresser to see what is inside, and I wake up without ever seeing its contents. This was extremely frustrating for me. I want to know what's in there. I continue having dreams over the years of a large home with many rooms. One time the home is in great disrepair, but I know once again it is my home, and it's filled with items I know are mine, but I wake up before I can see what the contents are. I can't understand why I kept dreaming this. I want to know what's inside. I then dreamt that I owned a large, beautiful home on a lake. I am once again excited because the contents of the home are mine. Michael and I walk over steps that appear to float on water. The home is more of a mansion, but I know instinctively that this home belongs to me. I never get to see the contents of the home. I want to scream. What is in the house? What is it? If it belongs to me, why can't I see it? The last time I had this dream, my husband and I are walking into a large warehouse filled from floor to ceiling with boxes. There are other people standing around, but they are nameless faces. I go to open a box, and you guessed it, I wake up without finding out what is inside the box. The home or building seem to change, but the theme is the same. The buildings belong to me, but I never get to look at the contents. I believe the Lord has given me the interpretation, the understanding now as to why I've had this reoccurring dream, this theme over the years. I'm so excited, but it started with another dream. I woke up the other day, as I had been for 3 or 4 days in a row, at 5:30 a.m., but I managed to convince myself this time to go back to sleep. The next time I awoke, it was 8 a.m. exactly. I told Michael I thought I should find out what that number 8 signifies in the Bible. He knew the answer, and I'll share it with you later in this story. I knew distinctly that this time this dream was important, that God had awakened me. I had to get up. He had something to tell me. During the time I began dreaming again, and this dream was with Michael. There are other family members standing around with me, but I'm not sure who they were exactly. I don't know what was going on or what we were doing, but I do know that Michael was from time to time taking items that were apparently important to me and putting them in a closet. I remember thinking at the time that I wanted what was in that closet. So after he left, I'm not sure where he went, I went and unlocked the door to view its contents. Funny, I began rummaging around in the closet. It was at that time I began becoming aware of the fact that the closet looked exactly like the door to the attic of my childhood home. There were all sorts of things in that closet. I can't tell you exactly what they were, but it was filled and I recognized them. And the items were just thrown in there, stuffed in every corner. I just knew that the contents were important, so I took the key to that closet and I made an impression of it. I was going to make a second key so that I could return to the closet and its contents any time I wished to retrieve my items. When I woke up, I laid there for a minute, as I sometimes do, and thought a bit about the dream, trying hard to remember the details, wondering if the dream was important. It was at this time I knew God wanted to tell me about the dream. I felt that impression. The Lord impressed on me that this dream held the key to all of the other reoccurring dreams I've had as a young adult up until the lake home dream. I jumped up excitedly and began to journal the dream. My first repetitive dream. The Lord had me go backwards. I was alone in my dream when I first started going to that attic and opening a door, finding that whole other place with drawers and belongings that I knew belonged to me. But when I would go to that drawer, like I told you, I would wake up and not see anything inside, believing the Lord was showing me that that was my life, and that I was not always be with my mother and father, brothers and sisters, that He had treasures for me, a life filled with wonder and excitement. And I believe the Lord wanted me to continue to return to this place because He had a plan for my life. And I believe the reason I couldn't see the contents is that the Lord was showing me I was not allowing myself to spend time there with Him. I became consumed with taking care of the problems and needs of my parents. I did not see or comprehend that my life would not always be that of a caretaker to my parents. He had more for me, and I was not to lose my identity in the caring of them. After I married and moved away from home, that reoccurring dream changed from my childhood home to dreams of different homes in great disrepair. I had always knew again that these were my homes and my contents, my treasures, yet I couldn't see them. In reality, my life was just like that, moving from home to home, place to place. Each home and situation found myself taking care of a lot of things. There was a lot of work for me to do. I believe the Lord was showing me my life again, and the reason I couldn't see the contents is because I became a part of whatever situation came my way. So my dreams, His wish for my life, were shelved. That is what I was looking for in those drawers and rooms. And the fact that I couldn't see what was inside was because I was losing my identity, my individuality. But I wanted it back. The Lord took me back to the time I was praying the sinner's prayer. I knelt down at my bedside. I asked Jesus to come into my heart. I prayed, God, if you are real, please come into my heart. The Lord interrupted my prayer and spoke and said, will you stay single for me? I said no. Pretty brazen of me, don't you think? I was 14. What did I know? I didn't realize at the time that one does not argue with the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I now believe that the Lord wasn't talking to me about being unmarried, although I think that by believing that, it kept me from many a wrong relationship. I believe my life had, due to the problems I encountered at home, become that of not only caring for others, but of feeling that it was my duty to fulfill their wishes. I lost my identity. I wasn't Lana, hand-picked of God, a woman who had a future, identity, and destiny in Him. I lived my life totally and completely for others. I lived out their wants, their needs, and desires. I believe God was saying He wanted me single-hearted for Him. After I married Michael, I continued with the dreams of homes, buildings, and finally a lake home filled with the contents of items I would never get to see. This dream has frustrated me and its meaning escaped me. I have bought books, researched, even anticipated taking courses, all with the hope of understanding what my dream was about. Yes, I even prayed and asked the Lord, please, for the answer. I believe when God gives you a dream and doesn't let you forget it, it is because He wants to tell you something. And it's just not the time for you to realize, receive, or accept the interpretation. But the desire to know what the dream meant never left me. The Lord showed me that the reason Michael had become a part of each of these dreams is that even though I have spent my lifetime caring for everyone who comes into my path, I have made him my main focus. More focus than Michael had ever wanted. My whole life, I have wanted someone to lead the way. Those who wanted full-time ministry, that was number one. I wanted them to open doors of opportunity for me. I always laid down my wants and accepted other people's opinions as to what my life should look like, even if in my heart it didn't match up to my own dreams. I kept thinking it wasn't being realistic, and that if I waited long enough, someone would see the dream inside of me and give me the tools and opportunity to fulfill it. But I was never content. You know, Michael has never tried to stand between me and what God has wanted to do with me. In fact, I would say that he's been the greatest support. He'd always encouraged me to do what I wanted to do. He would be right there and say, go for it. But I would doubt the leading of the Lord. In this dream, it's not Michael's dream. It was never his job to live my life. It was his job to do what God laid out for him to do. I believe that Michael wasn't locking away my dreams. I was giving Michael my dreams, expecting him to fulfill them for me. And he was putting them away because they weren't his. And this is never how God leads. While we minister together as families, we each need separate, individual lives. The life that God chooses to lead us on. And the scripture came to mind, and I think I finally understood what this meant for me. Matthew 10:36 says, for I have come to set a man at variance against his father, the daughter against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foe shall be his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Matthew 10:38, and he that takes not his cross and follows after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it. He that loses his life for my sake shall find it. You see, we must stay single-hearted for him. And it's easy enough to even put God on hold. The reason I have not been able to see into the boxes or possess items God has given me was because I would stop short of continuing my search. It is what I was trained to do as a child. It was my identity. And this identity caused many conflicts, both in my life and in the lives of others. Instead of trying to please the Lord, I pleased others. In the final scene of this dream, I made an impression of the key to the closet. I believe the Lord wants me to go back to the early days when He placed those dreams in my heart. He wants to unlock my heart and set me free. He's got work for me to do. As I was hurrying into the living room to record the dream, a thought occurred to me. Many people like myself lose their identity. They lose sight of who they are, to the point that they begin to look, act, and in some cases even feel like the people they are with. I just know now that God is saying, look up, put down all these things. The Bible talks about things that easily beset us, that turn us around from what we're supposed to do. And I want to now go back to the time, look at the dreams I had for my life. Some of them may not be realistic any longer. I don't think I'll ever have Sandy Patty's job singing full time. But I do know this. Regardless of what God puts in my hand, I can focus on that just a little bit more than I have. So I've decided that I need to listen closer. You know, a few days ago, I woke up and I laid in my bed, and I thought, who's in this house with me? Any kids sleeping overnight? Any problems or situations I need to face? I'm telling you that we can become so consumed by those around us, we forget to say, I'm here, Lord. What should I do today? What would please you? You know, Lord, I love you. Proverbs 3:5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. That's what I want for my life. And that dream, by the way, was really exciting. Well, remember I mentioned to you the number 8 and what it signifies. And I remember looking at the clock. It was exactly 8 o'clock when I got up. So I did look it up. Michael told me also, 8 signifies new beginnings. It's time to go. I hope something that I have shared with you has made you laugh or perhaps encouraged you. In case you haven't visited my website, you can go to the dearlanadee.com. That's dearlanadee.com. And you'll be able to listen to any podcast you may miss there. You know, I've been thinking lately that I may not renew my website. I have found that I can record my podcasts, add a little bit of video to it. In fact, I could do the whole thing in video where you'd actually have to look at my face, but then you'd see me reading my notes, and so that's still up for grabs. But back to the YouTube decision, I'm thinking I might cancel my website when it comes up and then just do my recordings, put them on YouTube, and then I can post them wherever I want. You'll still be able to hear everything, but this way you can also get a couple of pictures of things that I'm sharing. And I just think that would be a nice way to continue this without the extra financial burden. So just a thought. Let me know what you think and give me your input, okay? Well, if you have a problem or situation you're going through, just let me know. If you want to comment on my thoughts about Peaches, who's now trying to break out of our enclosed porch so she can go run wild, well, just let me know. And I'm wandering here, but let's remember that if you need a friend, I'm here for you, okay? Until next time, I remain your friend, Lanadee. In honor of Easter weekend, I'd like to play It's Friday, but Sunday's Coming. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon.
It's Friday. Jesus is praying. Peter's sleeping. Judas is betraying. But Sunday's coming. It's Friday. Pilate's struggling. The council is conspiring. The crowd is vilifying. They don't even know that Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The disciples are running like sheep without a shepherd. Mary's crying. Peter is denying. But they don't know that Sundays are coming. It's Friday. The Romans beat my Jesus. They robe him in scarlet. They crown him with thorns. But they don't know that Sunday's coming. It's Friday. See Jesus walking to Calvary. His blood dripping. His body stumbling. And his spirit's burdened. But you see, it's only Friday. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The world's winning. People are sinning. And evil's grinning. It's Friday. The soldiers nailed my Savior's hands to the cross. They nailed my Savior's feet to the cross. And then they raised him up next to criminals. It's Friday. But let me tell you something. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The disciples are questioning what has happened to their king. And the Pharisees are celebrating that their scheming has been achieved. But they don't know it's only Friday. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. He's hanging on the cross, feeling forsaken by his Father, left alone and dying. Can nobody save him? Oh, it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The earth trembles. The sky grows dark. My King yields his spirit. It's Friday. Hope is lost. Death has won. Sin has conquered. And Satan's just a laughing. It's Friday. Jesus is buried. A soldier stands guard, and a rock is rolled into place. But it's Friday. It is only Friday. Sunday is a coming.